There we go. We're live. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Paddy, from across the shuck, and I'm all on my own tonight. Well, except for my lovely guest, Carl Pearson. But Jud has went to a family wedding in Scotland instead of coming on the show, which I think is disgraceful. His wages will be docked. Um, what about the other fella, Mikey? Mikey is away at a concert. One of his friends' bands is playing in England, so he's away to see the concert instead. So just the young boys, they just can't keep up with the old fellas. So anyhow,
What can you do?
I'm more than happy to have Carl on the program. Carl, you're very welcome and good evening.
Thank you very much, Stephen. It's an absolute honour to be on after knowing you for all these years as well. It's humbling, honestly. So, and hello to everybody in the chat as well.
Yeah, you were on before, were you not, Carl?
No, I don't think I've been on, but we've spoke a couple of times, but I've never been on, on your show. Yeah, we've certainly spoke a good amount of times, but no, it's great to be on. I've probably been in the chat a handful of times.
Oh, it's lovely to see you here. Well, the reason we've got Carl on, as normal when we bring a nice guest on, is they've got something for us, or it's something on the way. As well, I know, because our little this little knife would end up being a couple of months late, so I'm not making any promises anymore to anybody. So getting these things made and getting them designed, put away, and getting everything done, even when you're doing it at home, there's problems come along that you just can't accept, but it's very hard to swallow sometimes.
Yeah. No, as it can be a tedious process, and I'm not going to say people forget, but a lot of people maybe don't realise the back work that goes into it and the testing to get things right, and the looking into different materials like we were just speaking about before we hopped onto the live. And again, just like little small things, the tweaks and the prototypes to make sure everything's absolutely A-okay, because just for example, one thing can completely destroy a pocket knife in some ways. Like you might remember, Stephen, the V1 that we had, the original V1, we had an issue with the pocket clip. So we swapped it out for a new one because it was a bit wobbly, and it changed the knife completely as soon as we done that, because it made it so much more viable to carry. You know, and
you've done that as fast as you possibly could have done it.
Yeah, I seen the issue. You know, initially when we first had it out, I really wanted to keep the clip titanium because the entire knife, the D10, everything apart from the blade itself and the ball bearings, like the hardware and stuff, was titanium. So even the screws were titanium on our first design, and I purposely done that because I had this idea in my head, and my naivety as kind of starting out, like titanium better than steel, titanium better than steel, but that's just not the case for certain things. You know, they're both perfectly valid for their own purposes. So you can't just replace certain things with titanium just because you think it's better. And I found out the hard way with the pocket clip being a wee bit flimsy and the screws stripping easier. So that's why now you'll find two changes. The screws, are all stainless steel, and the pocket clip is stainless steel as well. Because we want to avoid any controversy like that again.
Yeah, no, because it's a really strong clip now. It's tight enough to get into my jeans, but it holds the knife in there, which is another important thing. If you've got a clip, it has to work.
It does. It does. I know a lot of people, again, remove the clip, but it was always an important part of designing any EDC knife for me, because I like people to have the option of like versatility. That's why, again, even from day one, every single one of our designs have been left and right-handed carry, because I want to be all inclusive. I know it's an overused word these days, but I want anybody who wants one and is of legal age or whatever to be able to have one. And it's the same on the Phoenix and going into the Dragon as well now.
So. Well, we're going to talk about the Phoenix probably in a wee minute or two. Get that over with, because that over with. I just think it's a fabulous knife, and it's brought me back to double D10s again. It's that good, I have to say.
Well, that's good to hear.
Well, what I'm going to ask you is, how did you manage to get yourself into this wild world of design and knives and getting them made? There must have been something that pushed you into that.
Yeah, so It's a strange one. It's strange to say, but I kind of fell into it through my love of the hobby and the passion and collecting of knives. And obviously my designing skills, I would say, have evolved over the years, and hopefully I would say, hope people would think they've got better with as the designs have progressed. I know everybody will have their favorites or whatever, but I think overall you can certainly see a kind of progress arch looking at the first design to coming on to the dragon now. And when how I got into designing is just that. It's just through. I've always loved pocket knives. I was going into my dad's drawers and picking out his pocket knives, and he was like slapping my hands, like, "Don't touch that." When I was a wee boy, I was in the cadets, so I was constantly using like Swiss Army knives and British Army knives at the time, jackknives as they called them, and things like that. And then as I got older, obviously I was looking into, right, well, what is the laws? What can you carry here? And I realized kind of how restrictive we are in what we can. Like some would say we're lucky, but when you look at other places in the world, we are somewhat restrictive in comparison. So it's fair to say that. And I was looking to try and design like initially the V1. I'll show the V1 in case anybody hasn't ever seen one. Sorry,
because I think I had the V1 and the V2.
This is actually the first ever V1, believe it or not. I did put the updated pocket clip on it, but this is the first ever one. So it's pretty scratched up. Yeah, I've kept it as like a wee keepsake, and yeah, it's got 000 on it. And the thing about this one is it's used and abused, Stephen. But honestly, I've carried it with love in my heart for a long time, and I don't think I'd ever want to get rid of it. But the design has evolved, and you can even see on this one, it doesn't even have a left hand carry, because I was right handed, and when I initially designed the knife, I never expected to bring it to production. I designed it for the perfect knife for like myself, and when I looked at what was designed, I thought maybe other people might like this, and because of the platform I had on Instagram with British EDC and being in all of the kind of groups as well on Facebook and Edge Matters as well, that's what kind of pushed me over the edge to go, right, I'll take a crack at this, and it's led us here. So it's been quite the journey.
Because not that I know of, there hasn't been, I don't know whether you were the first in the UK to actually design your own knife and have it made and bring it to I can't remember of any other one that just started out by himself and away he went.
I'm not sure about people that have maybe started off by themselves and started their own company, but there is the only one that I can think of right off the top of my head is Mike Reed, but he links up with Spyderco. So, and he does his own custom knives. So again, even though it's maybe not an established company or brand, his name's very well known. You know it yourself, and
exactly.
You know, his knives are infamous in the UK for his designs. So
and his knives are expensive rather than.
Pardon?
His knives are more expensive than what average people will pay for a knife.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But again, like handmade in Britain, if for his custom ones is to be expected, definitely.
I love that.
I've got one here, Stephen, if you want to see it. This is a beat up one. This is a Pitts Mark. I'm going to get myself shot in the foot here. Somebody in the comments might know better than me. It's a Mark 3 or 4, and I think it's the 3. It's the one with the backspacer here. I think the 4, this was changed.
I've had 2 of them, but I couldn't even remember what the numbers was with them.
Or what marks they were, you mean?
Yeah, I have no idea what I had.
They all operate very, very similarly. I think the differences are like quite subtle in the same way like the changes from certain who's are, but they're still there. So it's hard to, when you just look at them, say, right, that's a 4 and a 3 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only one that I can really differentiate is from the MK line, from like the Mark 1, or sorry, I'm not sure where it starts, but I know it goes up to 5 now, maybe 6. Is the Spitz, because that's got the Spyderco logo, so I can tell straight away, but it's still got the hole, doesn't it? So it can be deceiving.
I am so bad at remembering numbers, even names, half the time.
Yeah, it's difficult. Why do you think I went 1, 2, 3, 4? And then went on to mythical creatures because I thought I can't forget a phoenix or a dragon.
So the phoenix now, let's have a chat about that, because again, this has brought me back to the double detent, and it's a knife that I have used since you sent it to me. I can find no faults that are, I just can't find anything that I could gripe or moan about, and I'm usually quite a good moaner.
I feel like I should just end now, because if you can find no faults, the next one can't live up to that. But
no, but you know what I mean.
Humble, as a knife, I'm humbled by that. Sincerely.
As an EDC knife, this is everything I need in size. I love the fact that you've got the handle to blade ratio is a bit in favor of the blade. But again, that's absolutely fine by me. As you say, we have restrictive laws. And to be honest with you, there's a topic that I suppose I'm going to wander off here a bit. I don't even think of it like that anymore, because since I changed back to traditional knives, I found that I don't need anything bigger than 2.5 inches to get me through my day's work or my day's housework, whatever. I just don't need it anymore. So this is perfect for me. I can get a good full grip on it. I have a large hand. It's about 3.5 fingers, but the way it's built, I can just work right into it. And I can have my finger up here where there is jimping, and it just holds it lovely. And it's such a strong detent. I have no worries of it. Unless I want to give it some pop, I'm never going to break that. And when you're pushing anyway, it's not. I have to say, I was so impressed. I love the little clip point you've got on it. This bit here was the biggest change I can remember. Is this indentation here now, where I can get my full finger in there and I'm secure. And that's as close that's as close as that'll get to sticking in me. I mean, it literally is hardly a movement. So again, safety, was that something you planned?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'll show you. Where's the Phoenix gone that I had? Here's one I've got. It's a lightning one, so it's a little bit different from your Stephen. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
But absolutely. So if you will go to maybe the V3 here, because my designs, like when I say they're an evolution, I really mean that. I kind of. It's feeding off of what I found success with in the V3. A lot of people really like this in the V3. The fact this is the 2 designs before it. And it's just making that a little bit, just a fraction deeper, because people's fingers are various sizes. And on top of that, longer, so it's more comfortable. Because although the V3, if you've got small fingers, is absolutely fine. Like me, my fingers aren't hugely chunky. It fits in there, quite the thing. Not everybody's going to have that experience. But when it comes to the Phoenix, you will, because it feeds into itself. Your full hand will go onto there absolutely fine, and it'll be really comfortable in the hand. The whole idea of this design, and it's a weird unconventional handle shape with like the kind of maybe it's not, I thought it was when I was designing it. The whole idea behind this one was not looks but comfort in your hand when you're cutting, practicality, making sure it's a really good, reliable EDC knife that you can use in the UK with no issues at all. Again, that's why I shortened the blade right down. I took a good chunk off of it compared to the other ones, because I want people to be comfortable with it. There's the first V1, for example, just size comparison. So you've got quite a bit off there. I get them up close. There we go. It's hard to show, sorry.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit of difference there. So yeah, the main thing I'm thinking about now when I'm designing a knife is how comfortable is this got to be? How practical is it got to be? How easy is it going to be to access it, get it out the pocket and use it in a moment's notice if I'm up a ladder and something needs cut or something like that? I'm always thinking about what's the easiest way for people to be able to utilize their kind of their pocket knife, which can be difficult sometimes. Actually, you get your brain overthinking, which can be just as bad.
Yeah, there's been a few people in the comments saying it's so difficult to design a knife with a handle that suits the majority of people, because you can't go to either extreme, because that's just cutting your market away. You have to be in that. And like we were talking a little bit about detent, I mean, you can't have one that's very strong and one that's very weak, and it's getting that somewhere in the middle that sort of satisfies the bigger amount of people.
You know, it's one of the biggest difficulties that we have is trying to satisfy everybody's preference for be that like what style of detent, because I'll get contacted quite a lot and people say, oh, I don't like a strong detent, can I get a super weak one? So I'm going through them all to find the weakest one. Or I get contacted, I only use the strongest detent, so I'm looking for the strongest one. And I'll always do that because I do want to accommodate people, and I know what it can be like if you do like that stronger detent. But I think it's important when you are doing a production run, and it's difficult because you always want what you want. You know, that's the whole point of what you want. But when it's a mass market thing, you have to find a middle ground. Otherwise, you can never please everybody. So let's try and please the vast majority of people that we can. And the outliers, maybe the ones that want stronger or weaker, we'll deal with that when we come to it. And I'll have a look and see if there's any that outlie for you, kind of thing.
And it's the thing with a pocket knife, with a you know the double detent or a slip joint. They never all come the same. You know, you order so many. I mean, I found out by doing the Paddy Pals knife, they don't all come the same. And some of them have wee different problems that other ones have and won't have. And it's just that middle ground. But I actually think that gives this knife a bit of curve. It gives it a curvy feel. It really has given it
It's been called a banana before. A bit like a banana, the handle. The other thing, have you ever seen Star Wars?
I'm sorry, I'm not a.
No, it's all right if you haven't, but some people in your comments might know. If you've got Google there, Google Count Dooku's lightsaber. His handle, instead of being straight, is curved. Right. And when I designed this, it was based on that a little bit, and so was this one. This one more so.
There you go.
So if you look at this and then Google Count, what's his name? It's Count something's lightsaber. It's curved like this, a bit like a banana. Somebody will know whose name it is. Somebody tell me what his name is. He's a bad guy in Star Wars. Count something.
There's somebody else who's a bit like myself. What would you say the pull is on the new prototype?
Yeah, we were just talking about this, weren't we? So I would put it at a 6 or a 7, probably a 7. It's quite firm, but it's not going to be impossible to open. And the other thing I will say, sorry, Stephen.
We should actually give a quick walkthrough of the new knife, the slip joint, and let them see what you have done, because people are sort of asking questions, and I think your explanation of what the knife is will clear that all up.
Yeah, Count Dooku, that was the name. So here's a quick overview of it. Let me see if I can get the camera focused. In comparison to the others, this is obviously a slip joint, so it's using your kind of classic slip joint mechanism with a back spring. It sits nice and flush there for you. And if you are left-hand carry as well, don't worry, we've got you covered. Your pocket clips tucks in nice and neatly right there on either side of the scale for you. You will have to disassemble
every pocket slip should go. Every pocket slip should go in the back.
Why do they not? I don't get it. Like, I'm sorry, and I'm a huge fan of Sal and Spyderco, but how difficult would it be to put a hole in the steel and put it down?
Exactly.
put holes in the scale, sorry, build it in. But I get why they do it for ease to take it off and on. But anyway, yes. So the pocket clip, left and right hand carry. On this model, you can take the scales off on either side. So if one screw's a bit strong for you, go to the other side, you'll get it easier. It's got the thumb stud, which is much bigger on these ones, I would say, and the reason that is because this is solely, obviously, a kind of traditional style slip joint in terms of it's got the back spring. So I wanted that big thumb stud so that you could really get a good grip on it there. It's got a half stop, so don't worry about that. If you only carry slip joints with half stops, I think that's very important for a UK legal EDC. Safety is obviously paramount to any sort of tool, especially one with a sharp cutting edge like this. So half stops there. The scales itself, let me get this up. It's got various kind of recessions into the scales here, and it's chamfered nicely on the edges as well, all going round. You'll probably see there, a lot of people want to know this. It's super important because a lot of production knives get this wrong off the bat, and it's a huge issue. Companies have almost went broke with this issue. The stop pin. The most vital thing for a lot of slip joints, so that your blade doesn't hit the back. There was a production knife some years ago. One of my friends was telling me about, Stephen. I don't know if you've ever had this issue, and they forgot in the design to put a stop pin in, and every knife they shipped out was going back because as soon as you closed the knife, the blade was getting dented. And I just thought, how can you overlook something so simple? And I know not all slip joints use them, but if
it's happened quite a few times over the years I've been around, And I mean, the French don't even put one in. You have to actually, a lot of the French working knives, you have to actually close by hand. That's just the way they do it.
That's why I kind of put a wee caveat, like if the knife allows for it, like in a historical sense and stuff, because I don't want people shooting me in the foot here, because I know some you're not supposed to have them in it for whatever reason. But I think it's important for an EDC knife. I mean, we don't want you closing the blade, even if it's by mistake, and then you take it out and your blade's all dull. How gutting would that be? You know, you just get it and then you have to sharpen it. I'd be sending it back, to be honest with you. So... but I'm confident that people, if you like slip joints, I really am confident you'll like this one. Because
can you give us the size on the handle?
What's that? Sorry.
What's the size on the handle?
Let me give you a wee comparison compared to the Phoenix. Get them right next to each other for you. My big fat fingers are running away.
The Phoenix is about 4 1/8 long, so that must be down to maybe 4 or 3 3/4.
Let me get the measurements up for you. I've got them all down, but off the top of my head, I'm a loose cannon, so I don't want to give you the wrong.
Welcome to my world.
Figures. Give me a second.
There's somebody saying even the Bexar was released with blades up.
It is. Sorry, it's just loading. 3.91 inches exactly from.
All right, that's going to get a large hand on it in the grip area. That's fine. Absolutely.
My hand's like medium sized, and this is it on it at full.
That'll take a large hand, no problem. Yeah.
And there's my hand size. Not that you can maybe tell by the video, but yeah, I do think it'll fit most hands comfortably. And if you've got an extra large hand, I understand maybe a bit of it will be hanging off, but the vast majority will be on it. And I'm confident with these grooves that it'll be a really comfortable fit in your hand. Like that fits so snug, Stephen. I wish you had one on you so that you could confirm it. We didn't just think, oh, he's just talking up his own design. But honestly, it's so snug. My favourite design of them all was the V3, so that fits quite snug like it too.
Yeah, I have to say now, I'm looking forward to this more than I have most modern, because I don't do a whole lot of modern slip joints anymore. Not slip joints, but just modern knives. I've sort of
Nice.
gone very heavily into just traditional. I still have the ones with Spydercos because I just love them. They're just beautiful knives. My Benchmades, I still have a selection of knives, but this is the first one I've really been looking forward to because of the fact that it's a UK designer means a lot. It's a UK legal, which means a lot. And I think, no matter where you are in the world, the fact that something doesn't lock anymore is not precluding the Americans, because before they didn't want anything to do with non-locking knives, whereas now they are bringing them out, and they're bringing it. Like the Bexar Bear is one of my favorite knives, and it's a slip joint.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fabulous. I think the design in it.
I'll need to give that one a go. I'll look it up, Stephen. I'm not sure I've seen it, but honestly, I agree with you entirely. I'll give you just an example, an interesting statistic maybe for yourself and your viewers. When I first started doing Who, it was like 99.9% British, UK based orders, with the odd 1 in 100 or whatever, like really out of the blue would have been like maybe France or Germany or something, mainly Europe. That's pivoted quite a lot. I would say it's maybe 85% of our orders is UK, 10% is Germany, and 5% is America. So it's definitely changing now, and I think that's some of the states we've had. It's not even restrictive states like Texas and stuff. It's just people who have a passion and a love for pocket knives and want to try different ones. They want to go back to either like traditional slip joints, or they want to try something new, be that with a double detent. So it's really interesting. I've found it super interesting because I think why, but then if you love knives, then of course you maybe want to try different ones. It's a no-brainer.
I like to have one of at least nearly every sort of type of knife that's going. You can't have them all, but like I like my slip joints, I like my locking knives, I like the double detent now I've got in my collection, which is staying put because it's a fantastic offering. That has really, really pleased me. But they're exactly the same. We made this little Arthur Wright & Son, which is mostly UK based. We had we only had a limited number we could get made, or we wanted to get made, because we didn't want all the work that went with posting hundreds away. But I mean, a third of ours went to America. That's a huge jump.
Yeah, that's huge. That is. It just shows you, though, doesn't it, that the appetite for slip joints and even double detents as well is certainly growing.
It was a big third, if you know what I mean. It wasn't just a third; it was just over, which
it was a sizable chunk.
Yeah, we sent.
Do you know who I think? Do you know who I blame for this? And it's a good blame. It's a thank you blame. Jack Wolf Knives, I think, has been instrumental in bringing back a lot of the older slip joint designs in like a modern twist. They've done so well with that, and like capturing that market in America. I noticed that it's done really, really well. So
I tend to agree with you, because I was in with Jack Wolf as well when the first 2 years I had Jack Wolf, and then I stopped. And the reason I stopped with them, because I tend to do it if I'm not feeling something, or it's not I can't review it, because I don't see the point of giving somebody a bad. His knives weren't bad; they were just not going the way I sort of would have thought. So there's no point. Taking a free knife is just boring, because there's no love there when you're trying to review it.
This is it. Unless you've got the passion and the drive to actually want to try it, and you reviewed so many of the slip joints as well, didn't you?
Exactly. So, and I can only do so many at one time now. I can maybe have 2 companies that I'm working with, or maybe 3 now, and that's all I want. I don't want any more. I've been through where China used to send me 7 every week.
Lots of them.
There's no fun in that. There's no fun.
It will get boring because it loses its kind of like appeal and it's special, unique, if it's just like hitting you with the same thing over and over and over again. So I can understand that, and it's no disrespect to like any of these companies, because I
Absolutely not.
understand like they're making it for a mass market, so there's millions or hundreds of thousands of people out there that are potential customers at any given time, so they're gonna want like similar or the same color but or different colors but the same and all this sort of thing. So I get it.
Your knives are different.
A little bit.
They're a little bit different, and in a good way. And I think this especially really has. I can't tell you how much I'm tickled with this Phoenix. The slip joint. I just cannot wait to have it in my hand, because I think that will be a super addition to it. Really do. And to be honest with you, so what I've seen of it so far, I think this one's going to be your blow up knife. You know, I think this is the one that's really gonna. I think it's gonna really blow it. I think this. I don't know how well it's sold.
You know, it's funny, like, it's not actually been overly, like, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and say nobody's liked it, because that's not true, but it's not been like the V1 or the V3 or the V4, which was like this massive influx of sales and pre-orders where everybody was like getting on board. But what it has been is a steady trickle as people start to realize, I think, in videos and reviews, and like people talk about it and they see, oh, what is this? Oh, it's a fee. Oh, that's quite cool. I didn't know they had that. I'll go and have a look on the website. So we have had a very steady of constant, like, oh, I need to package that and get it out. I need to package that and get it out. But it wasn't like the influx we had with the other ones, but it's been much better because it's more manageable like that.
Yeah, and I think you when you change something up to a complete different design or something, it does take a while for people to adjust their thinking, because you do get set in that wee role that you're in. But before we finish this, I really want you to talk about the blade on the new knife.
Absolutely.
Let's talk us a bit about the blade. What was your thoughts?
Let me get the stonewashed one out, because we might see the lines a bit better. I'm not sure if we can. Maybe
just twist it a wee bit. No, might have been better on the black.
Maybe the blackout. If this doesn't work, I'll get the satin and we can have a look at that. Some of them have more defined lines.
No, it's the satin.
No,
must be the satin. It really was, and it's really difficult to get it on camera.
It is with a rubbishy webcam as well, Stephen.
No, I've got a rubbishy webcam too.
Oh yeah,
that's better. That's better.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Look at them.
So what I was thinking. What's that? Sorry.
God, them grind lines are doing it for me already.
Oh, I appreciate that. So I'll be honest. I said earlier, it's not all about looks and it's about function. Well, for me, that's the handle. Now we got onto the looks and that's the blade, all right? Because the blade can basically look like anything as long as it cuts for me. I'm not fussed. I'm not a blade shape nerd. I'm not a blade... Don't take that offensive, anybody, but I'm not a blade steel nerd either. I know little bits and bobs, and I know the different kinds of steels, but I couldn't tell you the HRC of every single steel and what temperature it has to be heated at. That stuff, like a lot of people I speak to who are so knowledgeable on it. I realise I'm holding that up, but it's not even on the camera. So it's got a lovely profile to it. It really does. I'll need to get some more photos up and stuff like that of it, because I've not had any yet. Even this is like the first review, really. The other thing that I think is quite important is it's got lots of jimping here.
Yeah.
And then on the back here to really lock up on. And it's not a lock knife, so you want it to be as safe as possible, as functional as possible. You can really get both fingers on there. Make sure you've got it securely like a pincer, and get to cutting. The blade will be great. I personally think both for slicing and piercing. It gets thinner as it goes down here. So as we get to the tip here, that you might see the line here. It actually gets thinner on the spine, but not just the spine. Oh, that's it. It's hard to capture, Stephen. It's so. Can you maybe see it there a wee bit?
Yeah, you can. You can definitely see it. So I'm trying to do this.
they're not down there, so I think it'll be a great slicer and piercer. So that was the kind of logic behind it, and I don't know if other people have a different name for it, but I called it it's a mix between a spear point and a tanto. So it's got your kind of spear point there, but it's got the tanto as well. So it curves down like a spear point, but it curves round like a tanto, but it's not a full tanto by any means.
No, but is it all flat? It's all flat ground, isn't it?
I'll show you.
Is that a hollow grind at the center part from the handle?
Up here, going through here, and then it kind of pierces down, and then at the very tip, it gets even thinner. So
right, so it actually gets it gets a lot thinner at the tip.
That's
very nice.
Right.
There's somebody was one of your followers, a Gruffalo Soldier. He thinks with the Phoenix, the V3, V4, myself included, had an idea of what we were getting. This is just unknown, so I suppose there is some apprehension, though I'll be pre-ordering now. So there we go. There's a Phoenix.
Well, that's very kind. I'll preface with, if you really don't like it, money back guarantee always. So if you really hate it, messages and send it back. You know, I hope it would never come to that, and I'm confident that we're going to put out a product that you'll want to use quite a lot rather than send back to us. But yeah, by all means, I appreciate that. Another thing, people like to spidey flick it. Can't spidey flick it quite, but you can take it to the half stop and then open it. So
no,
here's with the V4 as well, just to show it's not really a full tanto by any means, but it does kind of have the same profile in some ways.
It is definitely more of an aesthetic thing on that blade, which just looks lovely.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Really is. And for somebody who sharpens as well, I never
Oh, you broke up for me a wee bit there, Stephen. Sorry, I don't know if it's my internet.
No, it must be me. Yeah, you can sharpen it all in one movement. You don't have to do the two separate angles like a tanto.
Yeah, no, you don't have to do that. It's not like the V4 where you have to do one blade and then go, oh no, I've got another mini blade to do at the exact same angle, but I have to do it separately and make sure it's even. No, don't worry about that. It's not that case.
That suits for me. I'm a lazy I like sharpening, but I'm lazy.
I avoid sharpening until the very, very last point. I stop until I'm like, oh no, I need to sharpen. I put it off because it's a whole ordeal. Now, once you get into it and you're doing it, it's like therapeutic. But getting organized to do it, like with two screaming babies, can be a bit of a challenge sometimes. So
I think that's where I changed to go to hand sharpening full time. Now I don't use any of the machines anymore because I just put the stone down, start sharpening. I don't think about it. I just have to do it. Don't have to get all the palaver out.
I need to rewatch your videos because you've got video guides on that, I think, don't you? I'm sure I've seen one years ago from you.
Yeah, but I'll be honest with you. I'm not very good at being descriptive when I'm sharpening a knife. I'm just not technical enough. I just stick it down. And people ask me what angle you sharp. I have no bloody idea. It's the one I stuck with right from the beginning, and it just comes out sharp. That's all I want.
The angle on all the hooves are 30 degrees, and some people find that quite odd. And they ask me, well, why is the angle 30 degrees? And I says, well, the V1 was 30 degrees, and we just kept it because nobody ever complained and said they didn't like it. I'm not on that level of knowing, like, do you know what I mean? All the kind of in-depth detail. I'm very basic. I'm a design guy. I like to design things. I like to have aesthetically pleasing functionality. But when it comes to what temperature this was heated at, I would need to Google it. I honestly would. I'm not trying to pretend I'm anything I'm not, you know.
It's refreshing, Carl. Nothing but refreshing. It's really, there's another nice comment. It's lovely to see people giving you nice comments.
I appreciate that. That's
really like that. And because another thing, being a YouTuber, as I am, and I know they call us influencers. I think people who are influenced by me really need to go and get their head shot, because I go on very much. I like this knife. It fits in my hands lovely, and it cuts.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if it meets that criteria, I'm really happy with it. This went beyond that. I can honestly say, because I only sent you a wee. I think I just was putting on one of your pictures on Instagram. That's a fantastic looking
That's
knife.
right.
And like you just came back and said, "Well, I'll send you one, Stephen." Right, okay. And I was sort of shocked because I'd gone off the double detent, but you see the opening of
We
this
got you
even.
back on the wagon. Sorry to
Yeah, and
interrupt.
it actually brought me back onto flipper knives. I don't have another flipper knife than this.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
and
that's
I'm
the
not
other thing. There's not many on the market. There's not
not
many,
over
and
here.
what some of the ones that are, like, with all due respect, they suck. They're really bad.
Uh,
They're really,
yeah,
really bad. They don't flip properly. They've got
yeah,
crappy materials. I say I'm not a steel knob, but I want it to be usable and not fall
yeah.
apart like in
And
seconds. So
all your steels have been
some of them are
M390, haven't
great,
they?
but not all. Everything is M390, but we are
Yeah,
looking into like different materials, and I've got a couple of prototypes, but none that are for sale, unfortunately, that were
uh,
S35 VN. Not that you would want that instead of M390, because to my understanding, M390 trumps it, and they're on to like S45 probably, or they're on to
yeah,
S45 VN probably now,
yeah,
S55 VN for all I know,
yeah.
because
S45
the
just sort of hit at the wrong time
45
because it came out and then Magna Cut came out and just
it blew
stopped
it
it in the
all in the
water.
water, didn't
You
it?
can never
And
keep up with that.
here's the thing: we could jump up to some of these like kind or like Magna Cut, but do people want to pay the price, the insane price? Like probably not for a mass market. So we have to
Yeah,
have it somewhat like again when you're saying it has to be like universal, so everybody can get into it. That's why we have M390 because it's kind of like the universal. It's not. I hate to say it, but people say like it's a super steel in that. I don't know if it is or it isn't. It's very good in my experience with it, Stephen. You know, I've never had any issues. So
S30V and upwards are super steels. I think the middle of the road is M390, 20CV. They're fantastic. They'll do me for days, and that's long enough.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
brilliant.
There's a wee question there. The thumb studs
Not
in the
miss.
V4 can get in the way when sharpening. Do you know if there's a case with a larger thumb stud and the smaller blade?
No, that's the
That's
case.
it.
Larger thumb stud and smaller blade.
I
In
think
what
he's,
way?
I think he's talking where a fixed sharpening system, when you put your
Oh,
blade in, is
okay.
getting down to the back. Can you get down to the back without hitting the thumb
You can
stud?
remove
Or
the thumb stud on the
you can,
V4. So just
right?
take it off when you're sharpening. It just pops right off. You just
Fantastic.
screw it off. It screws
Uh-huh.
anti-clockwise. They can be quite tight from factory, but you can literally just screw off. I don't know if I've got. Here's a V. This isn't a V4, right? But this is a V2. And it just pops right off like that.
Yeah.
And you can put it back on. It's the same with all of our designs with the thumb studs. If you really want them off, you can take them off. So that's what I would say to do if it's getting in the way of for your sharpening system. And I
And,
can
and I,
sympathize that you might not have known it comes off because they're solid to unscrew off from factory sometimes.
the other thing, Carl, I think I would tell people, if you're taking thumb studs off, when you put
Mm-hmm.
them back on, put some blue Loctite on them, because blue's lovely in the middle. It'll not jam it solid, but it'll keep it so they
Yeah,
don't unthread over time. So
absolutely.
always put a wee bit of blue Loctite on them.
I
But yeah,
actually recommend that for the pivots on most
yeah,
of
anything.
our well, all of our knives, and this
Yes.
one will be recommended as well. Most likely, the reason that is because when you're constantly flipping a double detent like this, opening and closing, because don't lie to me, you all do it if you have one. Everybody is like fidgeting with a pocket knife, flipping it open and closing it. It's inevitably the pivot screws are inevitably going to loosen up a little bit over time, and then you're going to get this horrible blade play, which really annoys me. But if you put a wee bit of blue Loctite, like you say, it just seals that up and it stops it from happening so quickly.
Yeah.
In about a year and a half, maybe you might need to do it again, but you know it'll short you for a good couple of months anyway. And yeah, the exact same like you're saying with the thumb studs. Do it with them as well. If you want to not remove them again. And
There
my
you go,
honey.
Carl. There's another question for you. And Carl, you just say when you have to head off, mate, because I understand
I
you've got the
appreciate
kids
that.
to look after.
I don't actually know if the missus is back now or not, but we'll be all right just now. I'll send her a text and she can let me know. When it
Has
comes
Carl
to
got
traditional
traditional
slip
slip
joints,
joints?
there's one. Might answer that. I
Well,
don't have lots, but I have a few. Yeah.
he's going to be getting one in the post this week, so hopefully he'll let us know what he thinks of that.
Thank you. Yeah,
He's
I'm
getting
sure
the
it'll be
Paddy and
lovely.
Pals one. He's getting the Paddy and Pals one.
I'm looking
That's my
forward
last
to it.
one.
Oh, is that your last one? I don't want to take your
Well, I know
last one.
I've still got the original, like you. I have
Right,
got the
okay.
original one
Okay.
that was
Good
made
man.
before they even went to production.
You have to.
So,
It's
yeah,
like history. It's like history.
it is. It's very
I don't have
special.
a lot of slip joints, but I've got a couple. This one's a Michael Mays one.
Yeah.
And the other knives that I'm actually a geek for quite a lot of things, just not the steel of the blade, but I love British Army knives and like historical knives. I'm quite a history geek, so I've got not a big collection, but a modest collection of like British Army knives and Navy knives as well. Just like your jackknives. So I love them though, but they date back to like 1934 or 28. I think is my oldest one, 1928. So it's just an amazing piece of history, like a time capsule almost. I don't have them here with me, but they're in the other room. Or I would have shown you them. But yeah, my favourite is the Navy knives. Can I go and get them? Do you have time?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, plenty of time. Go ahead.
Give me a wee second. Sorry,
It's nice
everybody.
to see what you collect yourself. Thank you, Mike. Take care. Thanks for popping in. Well, let me see if there's any, not no more coming at the minute, Elon. Cheerio, Elon. Thank you so much for coming in. In fact, you thank everybody for coming in. It's been really nice to have Carl on the show. I mean, we do talk for a long while. We talked quite a lot about knives and what he was doing with his knives. As I say, I think it was the first 1, 2, or 3 maybe I reviewed when they first came out. And he was sort of right back when the double detent was just about hitting, popularity. Showing Ashley, right? Let's give you a quick Ashley just to keep you happy. Here's an Ashley to keep you happy. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Carl, that's the knife I had in my teenage years and carried about for about 5 years.
I bet it is. I bet it is because
it weighed a ton. It nearly pulled my jeans off me.
That's the Navy one, isn't it?
That's the Navy one, yes, mate. Yeah. So that's the Navy. I literally carried that. My mate's older brother was in the Navy, and he brought us each one back when he came on leave, and we were about maybe 12.
Right.
And then I carried that till I was about 17 everywhere.
Well, these are the nights that you could say got me started, because obviously as a cadet, I went into the cadet shop as a kid, and the first thing I picked up was a pocket knife, because it's like as a kid you're like attracted to it. It's like the cookie jar, and that's what it is. I've got another one here. This one I think is from the 30s.
There you are, Slippy. There's a nice one for you.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a fancy one. That's a fancy one.
Oh, that's a real fancy. That's an Ashley Harrison.
Wow.
And Ashley's the son of the Arthur Wright and Sons.
All right, is he really?
That made this knife. It was either Ashley or Beth. They've got an apprentice who's almost finished her time, but there's only Ashley or Beth make these, so it is nearly like a full custom, but it's not. It's a production knife. So
exactly. That's amazing.
So you'll enjoy that, I think.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So I've got a handful of these British Army. I do have more somewhere, but this is my favourite one. That's why I brought this back.
Yeah,
it's my favourite.
And I keep seeing them for sale. I keep saying, people keep asking the question, have you got one of the knives you grew up with? And I should have that knife in my collection, but I just haven't got round to getting it, because it'll probably just sit in my drawer, which is the honest truth.
Yeah, that's fair. The other ones that I've got, it's like I don't have a massive collection anymore. I'll be honest. I've got a few Swiss Army knives and the odd one like this. This is everybody will know this. I think the Urban. I had a UK PK, but I lost it and I can't for the life of me find it, and it really hurts me because I can't bring myself to spend another 100 and whatever amount it is on one, and I don't know why, but I just can't do it.
I just got what do you call the fella that does these? Stig.
Oh yeah, he does brilliant knives, doesn't he?
I just got him to do that this year. He was on the show, and I got him to do this for me. So he's actually got the spiders, but he's also got shamrocks in the middle of it.
Oh, does he?
Well.
Oh, that's special. That
they're 4-leaf closers, but you know it's just because that's my favorite Spyderco.
The UKP. Do you like the drop point one the best?
I've never had an Urban.
Oh, have you not? Stephen, if you love the UK PK, I beg you to get an Urban and give it a go. But you might say you don't like it because the handle's small. It's really dinky.
I tried the Dragonfly. I had the Dragonfly, and it was a lovely little knife. And yes, I could get all my fingers on it, but I just didn't feel as if that was enough there.
Can I be honest? I've had a Dragonfly, and this is more ergonomically friendly than it. Because the Dragonfly is really thin, isn't it? Like up here. And then it's also quite pointy. It's got like rigid points. So it's more, to me, it's more of a looks knife than a but everybody's got their own opinion than a functionality.
So would Spyderco be your favorite brand?
I would say they're the one when I first got into knives that I really had an affinity towards, and I went down a rabbit hole of that quite a lot of people do, going through quite a lot of Spydercos and different kinds of Spydercos. Favorite brand, it would be really hard to say. Goodness. It's so hard because I like so many. Because I think Spyderco, and then I think of all the others I like.
Here's the thing. I've got a knife that I think you would really like.
Do you know MBK, Stephen? It's like Monterey Bay Knives or something. I always
I do. Yes.
Ray Laconico is his name, and I've always looked up to him and his designs as a designer. So from a design point of view, I would say him and Sal are probably my favorite designers. And then obviously, how could you forget Mike Reed? I mean, absolute iconic knives with the spits and the pits and stuff like that. So yeah.
No, I'm going to send you over a couple. Like this is a beautiful brass and bone trapper, full-size trapper. You got the big spay blade, and then you have the elongated sort of California clip. So I'll send you that over. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just saying, is it going down a wee bit in the bottom there? I can see it on
the clip is very long, drawn out clip point.
That's lovely.
It's lovely. But the thing is, to buy this in the UK, under £30.
Really?
Honestly, and it's I'm going to send you this because I always send people a Rough Rider that've never really been into traditionals, because for the money, that's in 440A, which is not going to last you for a long time, but it's so easy stropped, and it comes back to sharpness. So I'll put that in the wee bag.
My other thing of my knife roll, like one of the rolls, and this will answer your question. Like, is it your favorite brand? It doesn't have many Spydercos in it, but I think it's a Spyderco roll itself. So it's in here. This is my old one that I've had for years. I've had this since since I started collecting knives heavily, and there's not many in it anymore.
Like all of us, I mean, I have less than half of what I used to have.
And the ones that are in it, Stephen, are, goodness, they're not very valuable or anything like that. A few British Army knives. This is a cool one, actually. People might recognise. This is another UK legal flipper. It's called the Klecker.
The Klecker,
I think it's called the Klecker UK legal or something like that. Is it? Yeah. Klecker UK something anyway. And it's an interesting oddity. Like how odd does that look? Like, but all due respect to the design, it does, yeah, with the back like that. And do you know what's interesting about it? It's got the same system, or not the same, but I'll be careful what I say. Similar. It has a similar system. And that when you hold it and you try and close it, when you have your hand pressed up against this bar here,
can't go anywhere.
It doesn't lock. It doesn't close. Sorry. So it's very like interesting, and it's actually something that we've been asked about before. Like, would you consider designing one like that? And out of my respect, I know obviously these things will be trademarked and copyrighted. I wouldn't want to try and re-engineer like that kind of design, because I feel like it would be, infringing on people's, like, not even if you could change the, like, so it didn't mess with the patent or whatever, it wouldn't sit right with me, like just copying and pasting it but changing a tiny bit. But I suppose at the end of the day, that's how there's so many different slip joints and double detents, because everybody has to use some sort of mechanism.
Okay, Carl, I'm going to ask you one really important. You don't have to stop talking, but I'm going to ask you the one important question, because I know they're being very restrained in the audience here. What price is the knife coming in at the new slip joint one and the Phoenix? What price is the Phoenix? So and where can people get them?
Okay, well, thank you very much again for having me on, Stephen. But the Dragon is coming in at $174.99 retail, and we're a VAT registered company, so we pay 20% tax. So don't shoot me. But I feel like I understand that it is quite a lot of money to ask for, but it's a lot of knife that you're getting, and you can use this for the rest of your life, guys. This will have a warranty for the rest of your life. The idea is that it's an everyday carry that you will use until God does, until God comes and gives you your date.
That's a hell of a statement that makes, but I know that you genuinely follow up with any complaints or anything. You're very quick at following up. Yeah.
We have a live chat, guys. I'm available 24/7 half the time these days because I'm up with the kids. So you can catch us on the live chat on the website anytime, whoknives.co.uk or whoknives.com. They're both linked to the same website. When you get through to the live chat, it'll either be me or my wife, Amy. If I'm not available, she'll take it. So if it's Amy, please go easy, because she might not have the same amount of knowledge as myself. But 90% of the time, it's going to be me you speak to. You can email me at any time. I'm available. Get us on any social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We have... I'll need to get you in it. I don't think you're in it, actually, Stephen, but we have a Who Knives owners group as well on Facebook. So once, even if you don't own one, come and see what the community is all about in terms of Who Knives and what people are up to, what they're collecting and stuff. Just a bit like an EDC group on Facebook. There's plenty of them, isn't there? So.
Yeah, I'm happy to pop into that. Although I'm the most technically inept person you'll ever meet.
Come in and be a fly on the wall. That's what I say to people. It's better to be in the know than out of it, and knowledge is power. So you never know. Maybe there'll be a discount posted in the group, or like a link to a special product and stuff, because we occasionally do like something like that. Just for example, I posted one of these in the group the other day, and you'll sometimes get a product that's maybe not on the website. It's so hard to pick up, but this is actually a Damascus Phoenix.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So just wee oddities like that might pop up. But yeah, don't be a stranger to anybody. If you have any questions, ask me anytime. I'm an open book, and I'll try and answer as honestly and as best as I can. I can't promise that I have all the answers, because quite frankly I don't. You know, I'm a humble man that's learning every day of his life, but I'll do my best.
What price is the Phoenix? Because I really do recommend this.
Yeah, so it's the same price, 174.99. Yeah, both of them are going to be the same price. Ideally, we're going to stick to, for as long as we can, we will stick to that price, unless the government decides, oh, we're going to tax people more, or companies more, or import fees or materials go up, which is why we had our last price increase.
Oh, you mean when they're going to help small businesses?
Oh, well, that would be nice. If you're watching, Care, give us a shout, mate, because the country's in tatters and we could do with a bit of a helping hand, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
don't hold your breath, Carl.
No, definitely not. No, definitely not. It doesn't matter who's in power as well, Stephen. Red or blue tie, they're both just the same. I won't go into politics though, because I'll just get everybody annoyed, including myself, I think. They're all useless. They're all useless in Westminster.
They're all exactly the same.
And they know nothing about knives. When they legislate about knives, they know nothing about it. They're full of nonsense. They make things like ninja knives or whatever illegal because it sounds scary, Stephen. Reality is, people who are committing crimes are going into Tesco and buying a kitchen knife that's this long for £5, and 90% of crimes in the UK that are knife crimes are those kind of knives. It's not pocket knives. It's not even big long machetes and stuff like that. Some of them are, but it's not compared to kitchen knives, which anybody can get from a mummy and daddy's kitchen. So I'm sorry, but banning pocket knives doesn't do anything. Anyway, sorry.
There's one I haven't heard before. Somebody spotted a knife on a policeman in King's Cross.
Oh wow! I mean, that's humbling to hear as well. If you are serving in the military, if you're a former serviceman, or if you're serving in the police force, fire brigade, NHS, or even like if you're private position or something like that, you can actually message us with your ID and get a small discount off our products. It's 7%, so it's not massive, but it's just like a little thank you for the service you do, like a Blue Lights discount, but unofficially, not through Blue Lights, but we accept the card. And definitely. So we do get quite a lot of police officers, and
I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Carl. I think that's lovely. It's a really nice gesture of you.
It's on our website. If you just look up, if anybody's curious, who knives, it's called Frontline Workers Discount. So it kind of covers a broad church of people, like, because we didn't want to exclude, like, say you're a nurse, we don't want you excluded because you're not in an ambulance crew or whatever. So anybody that works in like frontline and is on like the kind of precedence of help and serve people of the country, then it doesn't need to just be Britain. It can be any NATO countries. So yeah.
Well, Carl, because funny, I have quite a few nurses and doctors who are in my channel subscribers, which is it always surprised me that and female nurses as well. Do you know what I mean?
How many?
That are knife collectors. One in particular has been with me, I don't know, about 6 years. And she's always been a collector. So I mean, you never know who your neighbor is and what they do.
I can confirm it's true, because we do get a lot of when people order, obviously they'll put their title in sometimes, and occasionally we'll get like doctor. I'm yet to get like Sir such and such of the realm, but I'm waiting on that one day. You know, one of these fancy ones. We've had a couple of MBEs and OBEs, but never like Lord of the Manor.
it's I have to say now, there's somebody else. Ninja Nicer. No, that's not the one I was looking for. Where's the one I was looking for? It's gone. Oh, yeah. This one. Nurses need to pack in it these days. They really do. They really do.
I mean, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the issues that our country faces, because I could be here all night, but it's basically on its last legs from everybody's perspective, you know.
Carl,
but
do
yeah,
you still have your little political channel that you used to run?
So I left that company, but like
Right.
kind of diverted.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't care. It's just that, with all due respect to everybody who's in that world, oh my goodness, does it get you down, man? See, listening to constant doom and gloom and arguing
Mentally.
with people till you're blue in the face, but you're just talking round each other. Some people you're never going to get to agree with you, and they're never going to get you to agree with them. So you're debating with people, but it's going in one ear and out the other, and they're doing the exact same with me, and I'm taking it on board, but I'm like, but I disagree with you on so many fundamental bases. There's no point. So that's why I don't do that. But I'm still very opinionated, and I'm not shy about it, because it's not like I'm in a very fortunate position where I don't work for Tesco. So Tesco can't sack me because I'm politically incorrect or whatever. So I'll say whatever the heck I want within reason and within the confines of the law and the boundaries of the law.
Yes.
But I'm also respectful, and I know it's your channel, so I'm not going to start ranting and raving about this and that and the next thing.
This is the personal side of a designer in the UK that you don't often get to hear, and you don't often get to hear somebody that's quite happy to be outspoken on the right issue and the right way. Because I think you know it anyway, but I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm about 36 years sober. Do you know the biggest rows that would ever happen in AA meetings and all the times I was going to them was over the use of paper cups? Now, you would think that there's people dying all around us, and I mean that genuinely. People dying, coming into the rooms, going back out there and dying. And the biggest row we could get at the meeting, it was the thing that kept the meetings going, was whether you should buy paper cups or have Dell phones. It's just
you know what? We are a weird species, Cuban. You know, we're just odd people. You know, it's the same. I'll give you another example, and I'm going to offend a lot of people now, so don't hurt me, people. But I can't understand.
If you go off the screen, you know you've gone too far.
Well, we'll see. Somebody will tell me I have to go. Somebody always thinks you have gone too far, even if you've not gone far enough. But my example is, I can't understand how people like football. You're watching what is it, like 22 grown-ups kicking a ball about a field, playing like a little child's game for millions and millions of pounds. I can't wrap my head around that, how it's so popular, because see, when I watch it, it bores me stiffless. But then people who like football would say, well, why do you like knives, you weird guy? Like, why do you like metal?
Well, so no, I agree with you.
Like.
Football is for pansies, definitely. Yeah. Rugby is the only sport that man should play.
Rugby. Well,
is the only sport
I think you would have a better argument with that, because at least it's a bit more rough and tumble, because the footballers fall over and they're crying their eyes out, aren't they? Every time they fall over, they're greeting. Rugby players are getting put on their arses and they're still going, Stephen. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to say, the price that them boys are worth is scary. I mean, they're selling now regularly for 70 million for a club. They're paying 70 million for a human. I go, what human is worth 70 million?
Is that not slavery, buying and selling human beings, by the way? I thought we got rid of that like in the long time ago, 1800s in America, probably, in Britain way before.
Yeah.
But
no, still going strong.
We're going off on tangents, but it's good, like you say, to have these wee conversations.
Exactly.
We're all humans at the end of the day, and we all have our opinions. And in the UK right now, people are pushed into their box and they're told, you must be this way, you must be that way, you can't do this, you can't do that. Can we just get a bit of freedom and dialogue back and discourse, like being decent human beings again? It's
The
crazy.
knife community, you have to either be a lock and knife person, a traditional person, a modern person.
Yeah.
Why not like all? I like all
Like
knives.
you
It
can
doesn't
like what
matter.
you like. Like that's all that
Yeah,
you need to do. Like, look, I've got a traditional slip joint here. I've got a modern slip joint, and I've
yeah,
got another modern slip joint. But I've got various. Like, I've even got a locker here. If people say I don't like locking knives, there you go. There's a wee £10
exactly.
lock knife from. Remind me of that brand. It's
Is that a San Remo or?
no. It's a very cheap one. It's probably like a kind of copy of that design. I don't think it's supposed to be.
Uh,
But I actually got this for £10 when I first started collecting
yeah.
knives, and it's a really odd one. It's super thin. I'm trying to remember the name. It's gonna really
I,
annoy me.
what
It's
one
with
of
a
my knives?
W.
I keep boring people with this one. This cost me £8, and
Great.
it's a, it's a Ganzo, and it's a copy of a copy loosely of a spectacled
Yeah.
dragon, or not dragonfly, the Delica. Except this one has the forward choil. This cost £8. It's 440C, and I couldn't tell you how many of these I've had and gave away, and the people I
I'll
gave them
show you
to still
something.
have them.
I mean, you don't need to spend that. Here's a guy that's selling £100 plus knives, telling you
No,
don't need to spend a fortune on knives. You don't. You can buy a £10 knife, and if you're happy with it and it's a good knife, then that's all that matters. It
yeah,
doesn't need to be, a £500 fancy thing with gold leaf coming out off the top. As long as you're satisfied with it, that's it. Here's an
well,
example. Look at
I
this
have
thing.
everything in the range.
I've got that in my keys, right? It's a single
Uh,
D10, 99 pence. I mean, it's 99 pence.
yeah,
I pull it out. I cut open a box if I'm outside to save myself pulling out, a big flipper and scaring somebody
uh,
on a bus or something, and it doesn't need to be, crazy. You can
yeah,
go
and
crazy and get a
yeah,
big chunky thing, but that's going to terrify the average person. If
yeah.
I pull that out on the street, Stephen, to cut my apple, what the hell do you think most people are going to do? They're going to be, oh my God, he's got a knife.
Yeah,
People are
I
crazy.
have to totally agree. One of my favorite knives is Mahindra
I love it. I love it.
slip joint.
Slippy.
Just
I
an
love it.
absolute belter of a slip joint. But
Is that,
I don't pull it out in a cafe.
what's the blade shape on it again? Is that because we've got a
This is
few
the
different
this
ones.
is a slippy slicer. So it's a higher grind at the back, going up to the front, a smaller
Right.
grind that gives it a bit more strength up the front than the back. It goes up at an angle from the base up the way.
It's
And
similar
then
to
you
the
get
one I had, but mine's didn't go up like that. Mine was
no,
the vintage one, the wooden one.
yeah,
Loved it.
well they did three models of each blade, of each different blade. They've done
That's right.
three models. But this one, I just adore it. But I wouldn't pull it out in a shopping centre to cut the string off
Maybe
you
scare a
know.
few people, yeah. But
Yeah, this is the wee
honestly,
Bexar
I
Bear.
agree as well. Such a good
That's
knife.
the that's the Bexar Bear, and it's in Magna Cut, which is a fabulous steel. But to be honest with you, in reality, M390 every bit as good as it.
What's the pull like on that?
It's about 6 at the most.
Yeah. It looks
But
smooth though. It
it's so
looks
look
smooth.
how thin it is. It
Yeah.
it's so thin,
It's like
but
a
a
couple of
fabulous
credit
knife.
cards sandwiched together.
Yeah, it's absolutely just for use. It's amazing.
It's
But
lovely.
yeah,
I mean, I watched a video the other day. Do you ever you will on your thing get like shorts of different knives being shown, like the wee 60-second
yes,
or 20-second clip? I watched one and I wish I could find it again. I'll need to send you it if I see it. And it was a knife that had no screws. You took it apart by just like moving parts. It was like a puzzle. And I just
yeah.
thought the guy that designed that has been taking something crazy to think of this. Like, where is he getting this? He's been
I
given
have
this in a dream.
I
Like,
have
it's
seen that. But the other
unbelievable,
boy in America is doing the magnetic knives as well now,
right? I'll
where
need to have a
you
look into that. Oh wait, I
the
think
closure.
I have. Is that where you slide it? No,
Yeah, but it's,
is
I
that the
mean, when
grab
you
it one?
open it, it's like a mid-lock sort of thing that you open it with, and then it grips the knife in with magnets. It's just, again,
I need
something
to
to
look
sit and
into
think of
that.
that. It
Yeah,
is amazing. There's an awful lot of wasted talent in the world where people who have that sort of a mind that can sit down, invent something that's not really needed, but they
yeah.
still go ahead and put everything into doing it. I love it.
It's not
Madness is
needed,
great.
but we thank the Lord that they gave us it, kind of thing, you
Yeah,
know. So yeah, I get you all the time. Like, you technically, once you invented the first wheel, you can stop there, right? But it's better if we have different
exactly.
types of wheels, and treads and stuff. So 100%. What was I
Right,
going to
big
say?
lad. I'm going to let you get on and let your
I
little poor
know.
wife.
Oh, don't worry, she's at work and the kids are sleeping now. She's stuck out. So, but don't worry about her. She's been very good to me though
That's good.
and the kids have been good as well. Thank you, Charles and Michael, for staying good.
Staying in bed. Well, look, it's been a pleasure. And we'll definitely have you back on again and
Thank
we'll
you.
chat about it. I can't wait to use it and get back to you with the feedback from it. And
Oh,
we'll do
please.
I'll let the boys have a go with it, especially Justin, let him have a go with it, let him play with it. Because Justin's not a D10 person. I've
Right.
tried even with this one and he likes it, but it's not something he would have. But
You
I
just
like to
can't get
have people
over
like
the
that.
hurdle.
I like people to just, when he tries a slip joint, I'm dying to see what his opinion of that is then, just to see
Mm,
if it's a different.
absolutely, yeah.
So I
Yeah, I
love,
mean, I would be interested to know.
yeah. And
Well, it's
Mikey's
been
another,
an absolute. Sorry, Stephen.
Mikey, the other fella that's normally on with us, he's changed now, completely traditional. If it isn't old and traditional, he has no interest in it. And I would like
No
him to
interest.
have it in his hand and let him see what it's like. So yeah,
I want to hear their opinion as well. Maybe in the future, then we could have something like that is keeping this sort of modern aesthetic, but with old school materials. So like
yeah,
bone or wood or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I think a lovely bit of
Combining.
ironwood on that there would be a solid bit of good strong ironwood would just be beautiful on that.
I've
But
even
I
looked
like it
into
as it is.
inlays. So I,
I
I
like it
like
as
I
is.
like the titanium because it's like it does give it a modern look as well. Like
Yeah,
I can't deny that. But
exactly.
I think it would be functional in wood as well. But titanium's like for me, it was always like in my head. I think I said at the start, it was this like amazing material that you can anodize and do. It's got all these
Yeah.
wonderful properties and stuff, and it excited me a lot. And that's why we've
Well,
stuck with it.
here's
So.
a thought. I have a friend in the community I don't think he's in here tonight, but he
Mhm.
started modifying knives and
Right.
he just turned out to be a complete natural. He takes the old traditional pins and all out, recovers them and puts it back together again and pins it. I'm
Oh,
thinking,
like slippies that you can't even get open, you mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
takes them
that's
apart
awesome.
and redoes them and rebuilds them. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
thinking I might try and get him to do me a set of wooden handles for your new knife to see what it looks like.
Well, I'm not going to say no to that if you can get them done. I
Uh,
would love to see it.
If I could get a
But
nice bit of desert ironwood, I'll buy the ironwood and give the ironwood to him and let him put it on it because I really want a good secure bit of wood.
I
Um,
think it'd look
but he'll probably
cracking. I
even
really.
put brass liners in it as well. I don't think that would. He's so clever. We'll get back to you with that. If I get that done, I'll show you it first, and
You
then
have started
hopefully you
another
like it.
science experiment for the next 3-4 months or something. Now, Stephen, he'll be strangling you next time. He'll be
But he's
strangling me. He'll be like, see that wee Carl guy from Scotland that gave you a knife? Tell him strangling me like Bart Simpson.
no. Slippy's a good lad. He'll. I would say he'd make a really good job of it. But there you go. That's the
No,
future.
I
I'm
bet
gonna
you will.
look. Don't forget to send me your address, Carl. I get these
Absolutely.
in. It'll probably not be tomorrow. It'll probably be the day after.
Oh, no rush. No rush.
Um, and look, love to you and your family. I'm so glad that it's things that. I mean, you had a rough time, like a lot of people when you start out
Yeah.
a small business. It's rough for a couple of years. You had it, you weathered it, you got through it. Much admiration for it. I couldn't have done that. And I really appreciate you coming on.
To anybody starting a business, don't forget that at the end of the year, the government's going to come around and be like, "Oh, you run a business? Oh, oh, that's nice. That's nice. You run a business. Guess what?
Yeah.
Here's your bill for running that business." Because when I first started, I knew it was coming, but I was naive to the level and like what needed to be paid and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's in an accountant's hands because I'm a dum-dum when it comes to that sort of thing, Stephen, and I don't want to get in trouble with these numpties and HMRC.
No, you and me both. I mean, I don't even have YouTube as an account anymore. It's just me now. So I mean, it's about 2 years now since I got paid. I took YouTube off.
Really?
Because the money was going to affect my pension.
Wow. Listen to that, people. That's how sick our government are. They actually want to take money off of pensioners. Pensioners can't even make an extra few quid. That is sick.
It's more the fact that I have a naval pension. So it just took me then, with what I was earning with YouTube, was taking me over that limit. And I thought, I'm not bothering with that.
But even then, you've worked all your life for that money, and then they think that because you have a credible another source of income, they're entitled to it. Get lost, you buggers, man. Like you're not entitled to 1%, let 20. You can have 0.5 because that's all you're worth. When you fix the potholes, the hospitals, the police force, everything, when you start funding them, maybe we'll pay the taxes because right now it's going into all your mates' pockets who are paying for mass immigration to ruin the country, mate. So I'm sorry, but that's my.
I would love to be round the campfire with you. I absolutely love it.
Don't get a few beers in me, Stephen, because they drive me nuts. And do you know what it is? I've dealt with these people like when I was in politics for a long time, so I know how their little idiot peanut brains function, and they're not more intelligent than us. They're not smarter than us. They have the illusion because they know big fancy words like prerogative and stuff like this. But in the grand scheme of things, they're like scared little children in the inside that get told what to do by the civil servants, and they have no real power other than what we give them. It's all like an illusion. Anyway, have you got a tinfoil hat for me, Stephen? Have you got a tinfoil hat for me?
Right, don't fall off that bench as you're getting off there. That little stool you're standing on is definitely going to collapse. Carl, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope everybody in the audience included. We'll cut this for now. Thank you so much indeed for coming on. Carl, if you just hang on behind, I'll say cheerio to everybody. We'll see you next Thursday when the two reprobates will be in here beside me. And I know they're going to want Carl back on for a good bit of crack. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
2 minutes, Carl. I'm just going to... normally Justin does. Justin does all this. And I am flipping useless without